Happy New Year. Today I wanted to come on and do a roundup of all of my fall makes. So let's just jump into it. But first, here's what I'm wearing. I have on the Simplicity 8014 pattern in this blue and white polka dot cotton. It's a shirting cotton that I picked up from Discount Fabric Outlet. And this one I made longer. It's maybe 15 inches longer than the pattern. This one I went with long sleeves, but no cuffs. So the sleeve is just plain and I just kind of roll them up. And they actually hit me like right at my wrist, which I like. I didn't want them to be too long. This one I went with just a straight collar. I put button snaps on this, so I just kind of wanted to switch it up. I have two front patch pockets and I put inseam side pockets. It still has the curved hem. I went with the size 14 at the top, 18 in the hips. All right, let's get into my makes. So I'm just gonna pick up where I left off in the summer. So that puts us at September through around the end of December. So I jumped right into fall makes with the Lodo dress. This is the True Bias Lodo dress. Most of these I made in a size 10 at the top, 14 in the hips. I modified the neckline for a lot of these because this pattern actually has a pretty deep V neckline. So I made some of them with a square neckline. Some of them I just kind of raised the V so it wasn't so deep. And I don't think I've made a round neckline. Anyways, so my first one is in this black textured ponte knit or sweater knit. I don't even know where I got this fabric from, honestly. It's a really nice quality fabric. So hopefully you can see the texture on that. This pattern actually has you do a woven piece of fabric for the neckline facing, and this is just a plain black woven fabric. This one hits me around my knees. Most of these do. This one I just rolled the hem. This is an excellent scrap buster, by the way. Like a lot of these, I'm up to 10, in case I didn't say that. I'm up to 10 little dresses. And I'm gonna show you 10 today, but I actually recently made another one. So we'll do that in my winter makes. But yeah, I put bias tape around the arm size. This one I made in a size 14. It's just such a great pattern. It's what I call my favorite t-shirt dress pattern now. This next one is in a gold ponte knit that I got this knit from Phil's Fabric, and I went with this like denim fabric for the neckline. This pattern really doesn't require that much fabric, by the way. Most of these, I just took pieces from my stash. Some of them were probably only a yard. I would say a yard and maybe a quarter is maybe the perfect length. Even 1 yard would be probably a decent length for me. It might be more of a tunic, but I think I could get away with it. Here's the gold one. This one I didn't even hem. I just left the hem raw. This one I made in a size 14 as well. So like my first few I made in a straight 14. Then I went down to a size 10 at the top, 14 in the hips. This is another piece of scrap that I had, and this is a pink color, and I'm trying to think why I got this fabric, because this is not a color that I typically wear, and I can't remember. I probably got this fabric for something else I was going to make for someone, and this was what I had left over. So this is in a pink or fuchsia knit. I'm not sure what kind of knit this is. It's not a ponte knit, but it keeps its shape pretty well. This hits me right at my knees, and I went with just the same denim for the neckline. This one I did hem because I wanted it at a certain length, and I put bias tape at the hem, and I did a double stitch at the hem as well. My next make is another little dress, and this is a size 14, and this is in a coral, like a dimple stable knit that I got from Stylish Fabrics, I believe. And I had this piece left over from another dress that I made, and this one hits me at my knees, and this was in a size 14 as well. This next one, this one is also in a size 14, and it has the original neckline, and this was a swatch that I had. This piece of fabric is gorgeous. I made a dress out of this fabric before. I gave it away, but this piece I still had in my stash, thinking I couldn't do anything with it until this past fall, and here it is. This fabric is so gorgeous. I haven't even worn this one out yet. I can't wait to wear it. This one I did hem with some bias tape, and this one hits me right above my knees as well. And it's in, where did I get this fabric? I got this fabric from Haberman Fabrics. They have like these little designer swatches, so I love this piece when I saw it. I'm glad I made something that I just really love. It has pink, cream, green, and black in it. This one is in a mauve color. I had a piece of this fabric left over from a hoodie tunic that I made for someone, and I had this small piece left over once again. And it has some texture to it. This one I didn't hem. I just used the length that I had, which is actually less than a yard. So that's why I didn't hem this one. This one just has a raw hem. And here's this one. This one hits me, I think, right above my knees. And this one, I actually modified the neckline. So this one has a modified V neckline. Or it's kind of more of like a rounded V. So these next few ones that I made, I did like a square neckline or rounded square neckline, and I also went down to a size 10 at the top. So this one is just in a tan color, and I added length on these too, so it's medi length. And this is in a tan ponte knit. It has the pleat in the back. I believe I picked up this fabric from the discount fabric outlet. I'm not sure, but it's about 1.25 yards in length. That's the medi length. So that's just to let you know how little fabric this dress takes. And then I also made this charcoal gray one with the modified square neckline as well. And this one also is in a size 10 at the top, 14 in the hips. I think this fabric was gifted to me. I'm not completely sure. This one I did hem with some black bias tape. This tan one I didn't hem yet, but I do plan to hem it at some point. And this one has the pleat in the back as well. This next one also has the square neckline. I love this fabric. I have another dress in this fabric. This was just a small piece that I had left over. This is actually less than 1 yard. So this one doesn't have a hem. This is more of a tunic or a top. I haven't actually worn this one out either. And this is size 10 at the top, 14 in the hips. And look at that gorgeous fabric. I got this fabric from Haberman Fabrics as well, and it's a ponte knit. I actually did a pop of color for the arm size. And here's my last one, or most recent one. This one has the square neckline. This fabric is in a blue and white stripe cotton knit. And I got this fabric from Discount Fabric Outlet, and I went with a green for the neckline facing. And this is in a size 10-14 as well. All of them going forward, I'm sure will be a size 10-14. And this is a little less than a yard long. So now I'm going to move on to the Megan peasant dress. This pattern is by Sis Boom or Jennifer Paganelli. So it's like it's a baby doll style dress, and I love this style dress. I made several of these in the summer, so I just carried it on through the fall. So I made several fall versions. So this first one is in this blue and tan plaid. I got this plaid from Joann. I do a size medium for the bodice with the modified cup size. So I go with the second cut line. And this one is in a plaid. I love this dress. I did inseam side pockets. This pattern doesn't have a pattern piece for the skirt, so for this one I used the Simplicity 1080 pattern for the skirt. This next one is in a burnt orange and white gingham fabric that I got from Hobby Lobby. It's just a plain cotton fabric and same size specifications. This one I didn't add elastic for the armholes. This one also has inseam side pockets. Alright, so that's it for my Megan peasant dress. Next is the Rebecca Page Laura dress. I made a yellow one. So this one has a story. I made one of these. What size did I go with? Small? I made it in a size small at the top, medium in the hips. I originally made this in a beautiful mustard color cotton with a pinch of wool. I usually pre-wash my fabric, and I thought I did this. I can't remember if I did this for that piece of fabric or not, but it shrunk and I can no longer wear it. I don't even know where it is. Did I? Anyways, so I wanted to make another one because I loved the way it looked and I loved the way I layered it. It was gorgeous. But I had this fabric in my stash. I actually had a good amount of it. I've made another dress with this fabric and I didn't really know what else I was gonna make with it until that disaster. I made it again in this mustard yellow and white stripe fabric that I got from Hobby Lobby. I love the texture of this fabric. I love the color. So I made another one. This one is actually a longer length. The one that I made before, I just had a small piece of that fabric. It was probably just a little more than a yard. So this one I wanted to make it longer and see how I liked it. I put bias tape around the neckline, by the way, and I love it. But the thing is, I had to take it in at the side seams. It seemed big and it looks better, but the top still just seems too big, and it was a size small. So yeah, I almost want to make another one that's in maybe an extra small at the top and a small in the hips and see if that works better. So I might do that eventually, but yeah. But I do love this one. My next makes, I was really excited about these makes because it was kind of like I kind of had this idea in my head. So I played around with some patterns. So I did a mashup of the McCall's 7831 pattern and the York Pinafore because I love the way the York Pinafore has kind of like a cocoon shape in the hips, and then it doesn't really require that much fabric. So I basically wanted the York Pinafore, but I wanted the overalls look at the top, if that makes sense. So I played around with those two patterns and I cut my first one. So this first one is my muslin, and I had this mint green fabric in my stash that I got from my mother-in-law. I believe it's cotton, but it could be a mix of cotton and polyester, I'm not sure. But it has some texture to it, lightweight, and here it is. So I wanted ties instead of buttons. It has this cutesy lemon and leaf fabric for the facing that I had in my stash. I did these patch pockets on the hips. Has a nice chunky hem, 2-inch hem. And I loved the way it came out. It came out almost exactly how I wanted it. The only thing that I wanted to change was the width of the bib. And this is in a size 12 for both patterns. So this next one, I shortened the bib. I think I only shortened it by 1 inch. Let me see. Yeah, so I shortened it a little more than 1 inch. I think I was going for 2 inches, but this one, it has ties as well. And this one is in this rainbow twill that I got from Hobby Lobby. So it's an off-white canvas with rainbows on it. And it has the patch pockets on the hips as well. I used the Yanta Overalls patch pocket for the bib. And this one I love as well. I actually originally made this one a little longer because I thought that would be cute. Like, I love like long aprons as well, but I ended up making it shorter by cutting off a couple inches. So, and I like it better. This next one is the same mesh up with the McCalls at the top, York Pinafore at the bottom. This one I actually put buttons on it, but I can still tie it. And this one I actually made the bib even shorter than the second one. So this one is probably 1.5 inches shorter than the second one. So that's probably 3 inches shorter than the first one. And this one I used the Yanta Overalls patch pocket at the top as well. I did the lower patch pockets, and it's in this beautiful faux patchwork fabric, and it's cord or mini cord. When I saw this at Hobby Lobby, I had to have it, and I knew exactly what I wanted to make. Here it is. This is my baby. This might be the most excited thing that I made last fall, but it's not. Well, it's at least in my top 5. That's the back, and it is just gorgeous. So like I said, I put the buttons on this one, but I can still tie it because the ties are long enough. And this one, I actually put a lining in it. So this one I actually lined the body with, because I was thinking this cord might cling to me, and I didn't want it to be like rising up when I walked. I just love this. I love it. My next make is the Maria Wrap Apron by Maven Patterns. This has 2 versions. I typically make the full skirt version or full back, but it also has like where you can do the crisscross in the back, but it doesn't cover your behind all the way. So I like the full coverage one. So I made another one in this khaki color cotton that I got from the thrift store. It's actually a thrifted bed sheet, and it's in a size medium. It's just a plain throw-on apron dress. I didn't realize how shiny this fabric was, or I don't know if I would have made this apron, or I probably would have maybe used the back side of it, but it has these large patch pockets that I love, and I did bias tape around the pockets. And then the back just crisscrosses. And it has this little opening here on the side. The back piece goes through the hole, and then it ties with this other piece in the front or on the side. So nothing exciting, but I just love this pattern. My next make, this is probably, I think this one is the most excited piece that I made this fall. I've had a picture of this dress on my Pinterest board forever, And I knew one day I wanted to make it. I just had to figure out how I was going to put it together because it was just a picture. It's not a dress you can buy. It's not a pattern that you can make. So I figured out how to make it. And I'm going to make another one. It has the overalls look at the top, and it's a lace gathered skirt. So I was at the thrift store a couple months ago, and I found all of this lace, tons of lace, curtain panels. So I bought a ton. I didn't buy all of it. It was a lot. I probably have 5 or 6 panels. But anyways, this dress actually only took one panel, and I didn't even use like the whole panel. I used a piece of the top and I used a piece at the bottom. So I think there was a section in the middle that I didn't even use. Here it is. Okay, so I went with the ties. The pattern that I used at the top was the McCall 7831 pattern. I did an underskirt so that you couldn't see through it. So I just used a piece of cotton voile that I had in my stash. I used the patch pocket from the Yanta overalls, and I actually just turned it upside down. And I just used a patch of scrap fabric for the facing. And I love the edge of this piece. This was the bottom piece of the curtain panel. Once I attached the underskirt to the lace, I serged the top of it and gathered it, and then I just attached it to the top part. I wanted the outside to be frayed, so I just cut it, and I started trying to fray it already, but I need to throw it in the wash so that it really has the frayed look. So I'm definitely going to make another one of these. A couple of things that I want to change is I think I want to make the overalls, the top part, shorter, maybe by an inch or so. I'm not sure if I want to make the skirt longer or shorter. I haven't decided. And then I think next time I'm going to use maybe the same edge for the skirt piece. So either the jagged edge or just the straight edge. So I'm not sure, but I'm happy. I'm very happy with how it turned out. My next make is a bag. I made a sling bag. I think this is the first sling bag that I've made. I've made other bags like backpacks, but this is the first sling bag that I made, and I used just a piece of scrap fabric that I had left over, that I had in my stash. I love this fabric. It goes with one of my most favorite York pinafores, and here it is. So it's in this upholstery fabric. I don't know if I had a yard. I think I actually still have some more of this fabric in my stash. So I didn't realize I had so much left over, but I got this fabric from Joann's, and this pattern is, I actually found this pattern on YouTube. They did a tutorial on how to make this sling bag. It's a pattern by Proper Fit Clothing, and so it has this hook here, and it has a little D-ring there. You can attach whatever. Opens here, has a pocket here. And I actually used some interfacing that's supposed to be like vinyl. I think maybe I was supposed to put the lining on the outside of the fabric. I'm not sure. But I used it on these two pieces. So this front flap is actually self-lined, so it's the same fabric on the inside. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I put it on right or not, but it made it bubbly, and I don't like that. And it also has this pocket as well. And I put bias tape around like the zipper or the seam on the inside. I use like a bag lining for the inside, so it looks nice and pretty on the inside. Has the flap on the back. So here's how it looks. So this piece I actually did put the interfacing on the outside. So maybe I was supposed to put it, I'm not sure. I don't know. But anyways, I put bias tape around the outside of of this piece as well. This back piece, I just put a piece of green fabric that I had in my stash. It has these two flaps on the back, so you can actually hook it on either side, whatever feels better, I guess. And then I used some white twill tape for the straps, and I used a plain, just a plain canvas fabric on this piece. So I love the way it turned out, and sling bags are like my favorite. I think next time I might add some more pockets, like there's a whole opportunity of pockets here. There's an opportunity for pockets on the side, or some type of attachment where I can hang things on. But for my first time making it, I like the way it came out. And I think this is my last make. It's my shacket. My burnt orange shacket. Here she is. I believe I made this in a size 16. Crap. I made this in a size 16 at the top, 20 in the hips. It hits me past my knees. This is the Simplicity 8014 pattern. I made this pattern 20 times maybe. I've hacked this pattern, I've modified it. I've done a lot of stuff with this pattern. It technically has 4 views for this pattern. So of course I went with long sleeves. I put button snaps on it. I did struggle with these button snaps. It has the chest patch pockets. It has the hip patch pockets. It's fully lined with this brown lining fabric that I had from my mother-in-law's stash. Front of the pocket, I did a double seam there. Do you see what I did? Do you see what I did with the collar? I used the same faux patchwork fabric, cord fabric that I used for my jumper or my frock. For the inside collar, stand collar, and then for the back piece of the collar. You can see the pleats on the sleeve. Just look at it. This is in a burnt orange stretch cord that I got from the Discount Fabric Outlet. It's super comfortable. I adore this jacket. So I think that's all of my fall makes. Oh, no it's not. I also made some hair tubes. I made several of those. I'm always making those for my hair. But I made underwear for the first time. Yes, I made some boxer shorts. I love boy shorts. I used to buy them. They were Hanes brands boy shorts until they changed the design of them. And I did not like, so I stopped buying them. I would just buy regular briefs from Kohl's or wherever. But a few weeks ago, I was watching a video by So Little Time, and she made these boxer briefs for her husband. And she was talking about this pattern and how they turned out. And so I went to look for the pattern because I was just gonna modify it for myself. But then I started looking for other patterns to see if they had some boy short patterns for women. And because I remember looking for patterns probably years ago for boy shorts for women, and I couldn't find any. So when I saw her making these, that triggered me to look and see if they had some patterns for women, and they did. So I saw 2 patterns on Etsy. I got one and I tried it. The first ones I made fit okay. The fabric maybe wasn't ideal, but they fit. And then I made a second pair. Those fit too, but the fit wasn't ideal. So I modified the pattern. I currently have 4 pair that are like legit, that fit me good, that look so cute. I am in love. And that's probably my most excited make for the whole fall. I mean, every time I put them on, I just love them. So that's really my biggest thing, is making more boy shorts. So I've been going through my stash to see what I can make more boy shorts in. I'm sure I have some t-shirts that I no longer wear, so I might cut those up. I ordered my elastic, so I'm ready. I'm ready to make more boy shorts. They are so cute. I'm sure my winter makes will be full of boy shorts. All right, I think that's it. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.